Hey, what's happening, guys? Coach Zach here with Pro Hybrid Training, and I'm excited to bring you another awesome video. Now, today's video falls under the category of mental development. Now, remember, there's 3 categories below the water in this activity iceberg. At the foundation, we have wellness. Then above that, we have physical development, and then we have mental development. So today's video is a mental development skill called reframing. Now, a reframe is when we turn a perceived negative into a positive. That's an incredibly valuable tool. It's an incredibly valuable skill to learn and then ultimately master, because we're going to be using this reframe whenever our reality isn't our ideal. And that's going to happen from time to time, and there's a lot of reasons it could happen. We're going to take a look at those reasons and how to fix them. So first off, reality is what is happening. Ideal is what we would like to have happen. Like I said, there's 3 reasons to use the reframe, and we're going to look at it right here. So we use an acronym R. A, R, and E. So we use the idea of reframes are important to help us remember the 3 ways to reframe. So an acronym is just an abbreviation like the NHL, National Hockey League, or NBA, National Basketball Association. So we use the acronym R, A-R-E, for these 3 types of reframes. Do we want to accept? We want to reflect? And then finally, we explain. And let's take a look at these individually and learn how to do it. So first off, we're going to accept scenarios that give us negative thoughts or aren't ideal. Then what we want to do is we want to embrace them, and then ultimately take advantage. So a scenario is just a situation, like the temperature outside, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's too hot, whether it's too cold. The ice at a hockey rink, it could be really sloppy, all right? The temperature in the locker rooms. Maybe we'll use the example of a Saturday morning. You have a soccer game. You wake up at 7:30, the soccer game's at 9, and it's a downpour. Okay, it's during the school year, so guess what? A lot of kids would probably just go back to sleep. But how could we reframe the scenario of rain on a Saturday morning into a positive? Well, here's how you could do it. Instead of falling back asleep, you could say, you know what? I have some homework to do. And I was going to go play soccer, which was my ideal, but it's raining, a scenario that I don't have control over. So how can I take advantage and embrace this scenario? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my homework done first thing on Saturday morning. Okay, I'm going to bang out 2 hours of homework. So then Sunday night comes around and it's sunny out and all the kids are stuck inside, maybe getting in arguments with their parents because they want to go play outside, and you have freedom because you had that discipline to embrace the challenging situation and then take advantage of it. So that's how you could accept a scenario that gives you negative thoughts, like rain on a Saturday morning and you're supposed to play soccer. You embrace it, make the most out of it, and then take advantage by getting that homework done when everyone else is sleeping in. So that's the first way to reframe. The second way to reframe is to reflect. So we're going to reflect on personal behavior. So that means personal behavior is what you do, what I do. So if I did something that gives me negative thoughts, right, then that's a personal behavior. So I want to reflect on it. Here's how you do it. So let's use the example of personal behavior. We're going to reflect on it. We're going to identify. That just means figure out what I did that caused me a negative thought. All right? We're going to adapt with an A, not adopt, adapt. And then finally, evolve. So let's take a look at this situation. So we'll use the example of a goalie. And, you know, a shot, I'm getting ready to stop a shot, and it goes right in through my 5-hole. Okay, that's something I did that caused a negative thought. I didn't get down fast enough, and a guy beat me in the 5-hole with a shot, all right? Or a player, for instance, you're skating, you're breaking the puck out of the zone, and you try to cut to the middle, and they take the puck off your stick, and they go score on our goalie. That's something that our player did. So say I'm the player, I'm out there, and I go to the middle, and I know that I'm supposed to go to the boards, and if I'm in trouble, I'm going to chip it out of the boards, but I didn't. So my personal behavior was not going up the boards. I went up the middle. So I identified it, so I know what I did. Then I'm going to adapt. So I'm going to say, next time, I'm excited to get the puck because the next time I'm going to adapt, I'm going to change my behavior in the short term, I'm going to go up the boards. Okay, then finally evolve. That's going to be changing in the long term. The more times we do it, it's going to become a habit, and then there's no chance of trying to cut up the middle because we're thinking about it in the short term. I need to think about it, and then finally create a new habit and evolve in the long term. So that's when personal behavior causes a negative thought. Like I said, going up the middle, or a goalie letting a puck in 5-hole. Okay? Up next, and finally, explain. This is when others' behavior causes negative thoughts. So it's what someone says or someone does gives you negative thoughts. So like maybe a coach raises his voice and says, you know what, you got to go harder next time, or get it deep, or take a knee, or maybe someone at school is bullying you or being rude to one of your friends. Those are all other people's behavior that gives us negative thoughts. We want to explain it. We want to understand why someone would be mean or be rude or try to bully someone else. What we want to do is we want to ask why. And then finally, understand their motivation. So for instance, we use the example of a kid being mean to another kid at school. Now, I just think about it myself. If someone's feeling good about themselves, if someone's in a really positive state of mind, they're really happy with what's going on in their life, they're going to share that with other people. But most often, when we're not in a good situation, I would say that kid is not in a good situation. He's unhappy, or she's unhappy with what's going on in his or her life. And that's why they're going to try to bring other people down and be rude or be mean or make fun or bully other kids. And that's something that someone in a positive mindset would never do. So we want to understand, well, guess what? They're trying to make other people feel bad. So that's the reason why. So if we don't allow that person to impact us, or we go out and help that person and say, listen, you may have something going on in your life, but guess what? You're not going to bring me down, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. You just let that roll right off your shoulders, because we know that person doesn't have influence in our life. Okay? We could use the example of maybe a coach. Maybe you're playing and something a coach says or does gives you a negative thought. For instance, me, if I say or do something that gives you a negative thought, you want to understand, ask why, understand my motivation. My motivation comes out of love and caring. I'm going to tell you that, and you guys believe that. So if I'm yelling or screaming, or if I'm speaking to you, it's because I care about you and I'm trying to help you. And you want to ask why and really understand why something I'm doing is giving you a negative thought. And you can always ask me or ask Coach Brady if something we have done is give you a negative thought, and we will sit down with you and talk to you and exactly understand that motivation. So it'll help you explain and reframe that scenario. Okay? One reason why coaches maybe get on specific players is because we have high expectations of you. And if we didn't have that expectation, we would just ignore you and leave you alone, all right? But we have very high expectations, so we want to push you and hold you to a super high standard, because we believe that you have a lot of potential and a lot of greatness inside of you, and it's our job to help get it out. And that's the reason why we might be pushing you outside of your comfort zone. So overall, guys, we use the acronym ARE. Reframes are important. This is a mental development skill that'll help you change a perceived negative into a positive. Whenever our reality isn't our ideal reality, a very important skill would be to reframe. Turn that negative into a positive, which would then give us positive emotions, positive actions, and positive results. The more often and the more consistently we can use these reframes, the better effects it's going to have on our life, and ultimately it's going to help the people around you be better as well. So guys, go have a great day. Thanks for checking out this video.